Okay, Mary, here's your garden tour video. Here's the mock orange bush. There's the bedroom window where the cat watches the birdies who hang out all day in the mock orange bush. Some of the many, many decorations that my sister has. All right, this trellis has Cherokee Trail of Tears pole beans planted on this side and morning glories on this side. Here's some of the dahlia collection. That spiky thing there is a foxglove that Andrea got for a bed she's putting in out front. These little bitty guys are gladiolas growing from the little tiny seed bulbs that you get when you're pulling them out of the ground. And the snapdragons and so forth are meant to go into the bed out front once she finishes it. I'll confess I bought this one myself. I think I need to adjust it though. It doesn't spin in the wind. Columbine, also meant to go out front. Some colors a little more exotic than the ones that I grew because all of mine turned out to be lavender. Here's the rectangular greenhouse that I'm going to need help taking down because you can see what this guy did. And over here, this one couldn't pop up through it because there was one of these seed starting trays on top of it. And here are the strawberries that were growing loose in the ground here around the pots. I pulled them out before I put up the greenhouses, and the only thing I had handy to stick them in was this bin full of composted horse manure. Turns out they really, really like to be grown in composted horse manure. Here's the size of the leaves compared to my hands. They're kind of big. The one single little dwarf rose canna lily that came up for me. Here's one of the columbines I started from seed. You can see the color. It's a little weird. A couple of more of my dahlias. Those guys are getting big fast. There's a dahlia and another stray strawberry. Miscellaneous pots, some of which had dahlia bulbs that didn't want to come up. Andrea's starts out of the greenhouse that I pulled out because we're getting ready to move it. Oh, look at that little guy. That is a canna lily growing from seed. Let's see if I can find a little tag and tell you what kind. All of them have tags, or did when I put them out here. There we go. Indian Shot Red. Haven't grown that kind before, so I'm waiting to see how that turns out. I swapped for that one. And I just planted some ginger right here. We'll see that again later. Here's the trellis. This side with the honeysuckle and the clematis are doing quite happily. The clematis needs to get tied up. It's kind of sagging and hitting people, but here's the rose bush, or the dead stems from the rose bush that I need to cut back. And there's just a little bit. There's one stalk in there that's got some leaves on it. Gotta trim these out. And this is the Monarda that's crowding it. Hasn't started flowering yet. That stuff will get a little weedy. Here's a couple more of the Star of Persia alliums. This one is kind of short. This one's only about 18 inches. This one is tipped over. So yeah, that's kind of a short one too. tipped over and then hooked itself on the hummingbird. The hummingbird has a seed pod, an egg case on the back for praying mantis. I haven't seen any yet this year. Well, you'd think they'd be out by now, but I haven't seen any. Anyways, more of that. Here's where the irises were. I've left some of the last of the flowers instead of deadheading them when they got ugly to see if they would make any seed pods here. There's some more Star of Persia and some Sweet Williams in the background. The owl lights up. The little lantern lights up. These canna lilies, pretty sure these are Robert Kemp off from the one I grew last year. Yeah, Robert Kemp. They get big. The one I grew last year was about 4 feet tall. Some Coreopsis, Salvia May Night, another Clematis. I'm going to get it in the ground and then put it on this little trellis that I got at Aldi. Gonna zip tie that to the fence. And that's a white Galia, and I cannot think of the name of it. Something cutesy. Pen stem in there in the background, purple stuff. This is the pink Monarda that the hummingbird moth liked so much last year. Wouldn't touch the red one. Chives. A stray peony. Lady's mantle. Down here behind the dang flamingo. The Wachera is blossoming. And here's a seed head from the purple allium that I had earlier. And yes, that is catnip. Truckloads of catnip. Wait. This Monarda, I think, is red, and this one is pink. Anyways, one or the other, but they only liked the pink one. Could not get enough of that. And this poor clematis is usually huge, and it has gotten eaten several times by the plague. Sorry. Had a garden gnome down. Just the plague of slugs that we've had. I've put slug bait on her so many times, and for some reason this random white one popped up in front. And this little guy, trying to think of the name, not a Wigalia, oh, Azalea, yeah, kind of rhymes. Sort of looked like it was going to be dead, because I was going to plant it right about next to where the pot is, a little bit off the path, so if it gets wider, it's not going to hit anybody. And this rhododendron needs to find a place, and I don't want to put it right here under the tree. There's a maroon Norway maple here, and it's shady. This is my bird feeder. It's steel, and you can see it's got nice perches, but a squirrel or a raccoon would pull the cover down over it. And that bird waterer needs water in it. This is how you know that one of the guys has come through and mowed the yard. Because they don't remember to put things back. These guys, the little dahlias, are going to go out into the main garden since they're not going to flower this year. Spare columbines. if I can get them looking perkier, if I can keep the slugs from eating them, I'm going to list them online. And an extra echinacea or two. And I got these tomatoes for $1. So I had to have them. Hummingbird mint, they call it. It's a like a hyssop type of thing. And some lavender, since my lavender didn't get through the winter. And there's another Wigalia blooming. A peony, just about done blooming. Wigalia in the background. I don't think that one bloomed yet. And this viburnum here, the taller one with the bright green leaves, so you can see some of the ones from last year. These clusters on it that look like blueberries. There's a bird bath that needs cleaning. My Pyrrhus japonica mountain fire took a hit last winter too. They're also pretty marginal here in Zone 5. So I got to get that pruned back because I don't think the parts that are still leafless, I don't think they're coming back. And the butterfly bush, usually they've perked up and come back to life by now. I've got seeds. I'll throw down some seeds. And this is just a black raspberry that was growing here, and I'm like, why fight it when you can just push it over to one side and then eat black raspberries? And, oh, did somebody come up? Yep, that's one of the garlics that I planted in there. I've been planting garlic in things that are in the yard. This is going to get moved into the garden. You can see here I put sticks and things around it so they couldn't push it down. And the daisies have come back. But they'll do it over again if they get the chance. So we've got to move because they're everywhere. They're nasty and they're everywhere. And this gigantic patch of Monarda happened because I accidentally pulled one out while I was weeding over there in the border. So I stuck it in the ground over here. Big mistake. My garlic, like I said, it slows them down on wandering through here. They don't like the smell. And more of that kind of lavender pink columbine. I really thought I started blue. It's not though, it's lavender pink. Here's the pennyroyal. And nice to see it's recuperating. Last summer, Bobby spent like all day, every day, laying in it. He was the only one that never had fleas or ticks. So it really does work, but they pretty much have to sleep in it. And the discount petunia is going to kind of go in the middle here. But I have to set up this dog fencing because the woodchucks are cutting through my flower bed, and you can see the track in the grass going over to a little hole that goes into the goldenrod in the neighbor's field. A couple of new roses and a honeyberry. This is where I put in the new bulbs. I've got some tulips and alliums, a white allium. Well, you finally decided to show up. This is another sage that the humming babies like. This little monarda that's dragging along is supposed to have dark purple flowers. And this very small, unassuming dandelion has flowers with pink centers. They call it pink dandelion, but it's really more like, I'd call it pink lemonade, because there's a yellow outer ring, just the center is pink. And this is our swing set with the wheelchair accessible glider swing over here on this side, and now holding a hanging basket with weeds growing in it, and some leftover fencing. And this little guy is marshmallow. Oh, look. See these little dark seeds? These are muscari. I throw those little guys everywhere. And what is your name? False bleeding heart. Right? No, bleeding heart, false sunflower. It's pretty. It gets bright orange flowers on it. They're quite nice. More grass. There's always more grass. Here's one of the end of season clearance roses from last fall. There's more marshmallow. I planted several around in here where I had some open space. The gladiolas, instead of squishing them in front of the dahlias. More irises. Daylilies over here haven't done anything yet. And yeah, here's the path I was talking about. And by the way, notice he walks right through my baby dahlias and little onions that don't seem to deter him much. And here you can see the path that they've worn down with their chubby little butts, trotting all the way over here to this hole in the weeds. And now I've lost it. Here we go, yeah. And I don't know why they didn't just burrow under everything. Here's the bigger version of that blue columbine, like the one I showed you by the fence that was almost dead. This one actually, up until this year, was smaller than that guy. So you can see how much of a hit it took. Here's the peonies in the border. Quite weedy because nobody's been around to weed them. Having to work for a living cuts into my gardening. And here's a spirea called Little Princess in all her princessy little splendor. More peonies. More peonies. Peonies laying down because they got rained on. I'm going to have to cut a bunch of those. They won't stand back up. And that's today's garden.